Hey, it's Chris. What is on the horizon? What do you need to know? What's on my personal hotness? What have I picked up recently? What are you going to see on the channel? And a few of my thoughts, just early impressions based on what I've got sitting in front of me here. I have 7 games that we're going to talk about briefly here. Let's do this. So we're just going to go straight down, right? Straight from the containers, straight to you. So first up, I picked up Exceed. I picked up one of the new expansions, the Under Night expansions. It's got 4 characters in it. I don't even know what the new mechanic is for this season, but I'm excited to see. I don't get to play this game enough. Just because the rules overhead once you're in the game is relatively straightforward, but how all of the characters work in this one-on-one sort of, go this way, and even overlap character battling system. But I like it better than BattleCon. I like it better than Level 99's other meta-esque Street Fighter evolving game. Now, whether or not I like it better than Soccer Arms, that's a whole nother conversation. But I like it better than BattleCon, at least at this point, because I don't really think BattleCon is as best of fit so far. Granted, I've not played as much BattleCon as I've played Exceed and Soccer Arms, so take that for what you will. But that one I just recently picked up, so we'll see if I end up picking up the rest of Season 6. The interesting thing is, with this, they actually had a pre-order that included like acrylic standees, which is really interesting, but it was really expensive. So I decided just to pass on it and get it at retail. Now let's go down here to the bottom of this pile for a second, so I can get a few more of you interested right at the beginning here. I picked up Clank Catacombs. Clank Catacombs. This is my first Clank in my collection, right? Standalone deck builder going against the Dragon Vesna, and you have a modular system of press your luck sort of deck building esque. I don't know. I could see myself going either way with this, right? You can play with the all new dungeon deck or include cards from previous Clank expansions. And that was the other big thing. It's backwards compatible. So I think a lot of people are happy with that. I don't know how I feel. I've not really played a Clank game before. Is this going to be too long? Is it going to overstay its welcome? Am I going to like the Press Your Luck as much as I like Press Your Luck in other games? Everyone says that this is the Clank to get if you're going to get one now. But is it going to appeal to me who has not played any of it? I know, like blasphemy, right? Like, Chris hasn't played Clank. What is he doing with his life? Anyway, I don't know. I picked up a Grail game. From Innovation Deluxe. Not sure how to play it yet. I've heard the learning curve for this is a little bit interesting in terms of like the first game. Even the rule book is like, hey, don't do this in the first game. Don't do this. Play these cards. Make these combos. Create these timelines. I don't know what I'm doing at all with this, but I got it for not a horrible price. Not a horrible price. This is where you Patreon people come in, especially because that's where some of your money went this month, was getting some of these things, FYI. And I don't know how I feel about this yet. I really want to like this game, but I could see myself very much selling it if it doesn't appeal. And so it's a big-ish box for all it essentially has in it, with like 4 of these little deck containers. That's it. I mean, that's really all that's in there. And so it's got the little expansions and everything else. And is this that much different than the non-deluxe version, or just the regular innovation with the other expansions? I don't really know. I didn't really do my research on this one, which is probably gonna bite me in the butt later. It's probably, people are probably gonna let me know in the comment section like, oh, Chris, you could have just bought the 3 other expansions and it would have been perfectly fine with exactly the same, and it would cost you 2/3 of the price. Well, I'll find that out later and we'll kind of go from there. I don't know what else. Anyway, let's go to this one, actually. I just got this from Daily Magic Games. I just filmed my review the other night. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria with the Winter expansion. Very interesting, nice roll and write. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. This is the one on the table that I have played so far, so I can really give my clear thoughts on this. Winter expansion is definitely the upgraded way to go, though, because of some of the variability and some of the different paths, literally and figuratively, it will take you on when you're doing it. But it's relatively straightforward of just having these 2 different boards that you're going to be rolling, writing, and filling in. And so it just works. My wife really liked it. I really liked it. Just a nice, simple game, and it's relatively straightforward. And Daily Magic did a really good job with the rulebook here. Like, there was no ambiguity about what was going on, how it plays, rules, errata, nothing like that. So that was honestly, that's, a huge thing nowadays when I'm looking through and trying to play all these games. Like, I want to know how to play them. How to play them matters. I am not one of those people that's like, I'm learning too many games to care about how much these games are actually played correctly. Like, that's not me. Like, I want to know if I'm playing it correctly. Now, playing it correctly and being good at the game, that's a whole nother issue, whole nother scenario. Got my butt kicked by 3 people today in a card game that we had never played before. That's, again, a whole nother conversation. Okay, on to one of my favorite games of all time. I just couldn't resist it. Isle of Skye, the big box. I talked about this one previously on one of the news and hotness videos. I went with it. And you know, I'm relatively surprised by this, that the big box itself is not much bigger than the actual box of Isle of Skye. Let's pull that up real quick, just so you can see the comparison here. So that was a way too much effort for what it is, but you can see right here, like, this is the original, this is the new one. So that's actually not too bad in terms of size. And it comes with, what does it even come with here? It comes with the Druids expansion, the original base game, the bonus scoring tiles from 2015, the Tunnels module, which is another module that was released in 2018, and an all-new Borderlands module. So I'm really excited by this one because I love Isle of Skye, and I was never going to buy it by itself. But the fact that this was slightly more than just what this base game was originally, I mean, I'll probably just give this one away. I think my brother-in-law really likes it, and so I have a feeling that I'm just probably going to do that. Because, especially with a lot of these modules, like, you know, like, if you've played Isle of Skye, just a little something extra, just a little something more would be super awesome. And the fact that you can do modules with this, you know what, this is going to be hopefully a forever game for me. Because, I mean, the base game was originally, so if this adds just a little bit more of what I like, I'm all in on that. So this one is probably going to be the most controversial one. I finally freaking got my copy of Hamburg Deluxe. I'm not terribly impressed by the quality control already. This box is a little bit, but really the thing that really tweaked me, or this is what you paid for extra right here, right? This is the whole deluxification box. And I'm not terribly impressed by what it is. I'm not terribly impressed that I paid more for this. And so if you're looking at getting the deluxe version from somebody, go buy the standard edition. Now, you can't actually buy any of these editions yet because Queen Games doesn't have most of them available at retail. So I have no clue what that's going to look like. And I don't even have the insert in here. You can kind of see, like, this is no insert. I just threw everything in here because I think the insert is kind of meh so far right now too. Although I need to actually see if it's going to do a better job storing this because they didn't actually give too many baggies. I think I used all my own baggies here as well. So I have no clue. As someone who never played Bruges, and this was the only one that really appealed to me because when Bruges was out of print and everyone was like hoarding onto it and trying to sell every single copy for like triple digits over here in North America, I decided to go in for this because it wouldn't have cost me much more to get the original plus the expansion plus the other expansion for the price of this. So like, it's kind of a wash from that standpoint, but will it actually hold up? The only one other one I'm actually interested in is Marrakesh. And so we'll see if that one ever comes to retail, but they're selling it like for like $170 for the deluxified version now, which is insane. That's a whole nother issue that I talked about in another video. The last one up here on the table, Hatchet Board Games, and I just, you know, Gigamic, sorry, and they're, I think, one of the distributors, I think Hatchet Board Games is, Galileo Project, sort of an engine build, card laying type of game, and this was one that I just said, you know what, I'm going to go out on a limb with this one. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I am going to test this one out. I just got another email from them like this past week, and I finally looked at one of their other projects. I'll put a picture of it right up here. Gosu X. Again, in the lines of your Exceed Battlecon Yomi-esque games. Paragon Pockets was the other one that I'm looking out recently because they're coming out with a Penny Arcade Acquisitions Incorporated version of their 2-player battler. I'm just looking at it from that aspect of things, and I said, wow, Gosu X is another one that's going to be on my radar of things that I'm really sort of interested in looking and seeing how that gets, because again, I love those skirmish style games as well. So Galileo Project is going to be just an interesting space-faring one here. You can see all the stuff that's going on. Again, don't know much about the details of the gameplay, but I read through a couple of reviews and I looked at it just to arrange, sort of what you're doing. Your corporation aim to arrange 4 moons of Jupiter into habitable homes. Hire experts, advisors, lobbyists, store, strengthen, influence, victory points at the end. And you can kind of see the, little moons down here that you're trying to rearrange. So this is, of the 4 games that were in shrink here, this is actually the heaviest. You can see there's actually some lid rise already on this, lid lift, whatever you want to call it. And so this one is jam-packed. and it's actually from Sorry, We Are French. So that's what I've got on the horizon right now. Yeah. If you like it, I did a video last week of 11 board games, small box games, all in one. And I thought that was kind of nice. 11 games, 30 minutes, and brief synopsis, brief overview, brief description, brief review, and thoughts that went along with it. So eventually I'll do something like that again with a few of these other small box games I've got, because I think that's a nice way of doing a lot of the small box games to get more people interested in not only just that content, if I'm putting it out, but also to get more exposure. Because if I just pick a random small box game that you've never heard of, you're also probably not going to tune in, but you may tune in for some of the other ones that are going to be along with it. So maybe you catch a few, because a few of them were a good surprise. The one we just played today, 4-player card game, Velomino, that was actually a very fun game. I was very surprised by that. So now I'm actually looking into getting the expansion, Velomino Legends. So I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. I screw that up all the time. But anyway, that is what's on the horizon. Those are the games I'm excited about to play, to put content out about, and to tell you more about in the near future. So that's what you should expect to see in the next month or two. So there you go. Stay classy. Thanks for subscribing if you want. That's where this came from. That's how I was able to get these as well. So through the Patreon. Yeah. 7K. Tune in soon. Video coming up. Thanks, guys. Folks, ladies, everybody. Stay classy. See you around.